Alright, what's going on, everybody? So I just got finished watching Hypnosis Mike Division rap battle, and I'm here to give you guys my first impressions. And I gotta say, this is probably going to be the most bizarre anime of fall 2020, bar none. This one, I watched some videos a few weeks ago about this show, and even when I was watching the trailers, I was just like, yo, they're really making an anime out of just like rapping. Really, like, this just shows that they can make an anime out of anything. And this just shows that not only that, it's like if you're creative, anything can work. Because this one thing I gotta say about this show, just in general, just this first episode, it surprised me. It honestly surprised me. And I think that the premise is, I think it's safe to say the premise is unique. And I think the plot is actually, like, it's very interesting. You would think something like this, it would be just kind of throwaway, because from what I've read up, or not read up on, from what I learned last week watching a video, I'll probably put the link in the description to the video I'm referring to. But so apparently this is tied into actual rappers in Japan. It's this whole thing in real life. Like there's a lot tied to this brand, to this franchise. But just getting into the episode itself and just what this is all about, I'm gonna just kind of quickly read the plot from Wikipedia, because I think that this explains it probably better than I could. But basically, just to put it in my own words before I read the plot. So basically, what this is basically at a certain point, this political party called the Party of Words, right, is a group of women. Basically, women, they take over the Japanese government, and then they abolish weapons and stuff. And instead of using weapons, because nobody can use weapons anymore, everybody uses these special mics that they came up with. And what these mics do is they basically give you stand powers. And to just kind of simplify it, if you're a JoJo fan, then you're probably going to love this even more than the average person, because they basically have stands in this. Through these microphones, somehow they're able to basically fight using these mics, which basically gives them these stands basically to fight with. And so let me go ahead and just read the plot, because I think me reading the plot will kind of give you a better idea as to what this is all about. So here we go. So after the war, women have taken over ruling politics in Cho Ward and have banned and destroyed weapons. This has caused men to fight through rap battles using hypnosis mics, which can be used to affect people's sympathetic waves and influence their thought process. However, the legendary rap group, the Dirty Dog, has been split up into 4 groups, each representing a division of Tokyo, Japan, and engaging in territorial battles using words and hypnosis mics. So with that summary in mind, like, let me just say, because I said this before, the premise of this is not just unique, it's actually interesting. Strangely, something that I like about this first episode, you know, like we see in the background, and you'll see in several scenes that there are people from this Party of Words, right? There are people, and they show this one, well, actually 2 women, but one woman that I assume is like the head, you know, of the Party of Words. So there are these people that are basically controlling things behind the scenes. And what is so strange about a lot of these scenes, right? Because once we get to see, because the episode shows, it basically has us following multiple groups. Because as you just heard from the plot that I just read, so there was basically this group called the Dirty Dog, and then they got split up into 4 separate groups, and each one of the members is basically the leader of one of those groups. And in this episode, it basically we're following these different groups. The show basically is basically just setting up the characters in this episode. And one thing I can say about this episode, and I guess I can say about this show in general, or at least so far, like the personalities, man. The personalities. For lack of a better word, the personalities of each character is just so strong, man. Like, They had one dude who's like a gambler who's like really bad with money. One guy who's like stressed out all the time. Apparently, they had this military dude who was talking about eating bugs and stuff, and they had this one, and I think this guy is gonna probably be my favorite. Strangely, he's like afraid of women or something. It's like the personalities are really strong. Not only that, but I think the character designs. While I didn't like the character designs for one of the groups, I think it was called Buster Bros or something, and that sounds like some porn stuff or something. That sounds like really weird. It's a really weird name for a rap group, but okay. But these characters, like those characters in particular, I didn't like their character designs because like their eyes is like a different color. But yeah, like one thing I can say, like the character designs are very unique in this, and just in general, like it's a very colorful show. Like prepare to just sensory overload is what it's gonna be with this show. And just kind of like to speak on the music, because I think that is going to be the strong point of the show, and that is the emphasis of the show. There was a point in this episode where I was thinking to myself, am I gonna really be watching this week by week? Because I'm somebody, I've said this before, like I'm not a fan of having to like read my anime. I like to listen to stuff English dubbed, and something tells me that they're not gonna dub this. If they do, I'd be happy. I'd be really happy. But so in this episode, we get to hear a few different songs, and at first I tried, skimming through a little of the lyrics and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna even attempt to read this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just listen and try to just, try to gauge whether I like the song or not. And honestly, the first two, I guess I can say, including the opening, because I wasn't a big fan of the opening, but at a certain point it clicked. Like there was the third and fourth song, the last two songs were really cool. Those were actually cool, and that surprised me. This was one aspect of the show I wasn't sure if I was gonna gel with it, but I actually liked it. Like y'all should really give this show a shot. Like even if you think like this Japanese sort of music, this like rap music, like Japanese hip hop, that isn't your thing, this is a very unique show. And honestly, after watching the other show that I just watched earlier, Jujutsu Kaisen, like after watching that and just seeing the contrast from me just watching this, and just this kind of just took me back, because it's not just the characters, it's not just the great character designs, the art style and stuff, and like I said, it's very vibrant show, very colorful show, characters just out there, because like I could tell they were very creative when they made this. But it's not only that, man. Like this joint was like another thing that I definitely have to point out, that like it's not only an interesting show from a plot and setting perspective. It's not only that, man, but like it's funny too. It's funny, and it's so bizarre, because it's like they don't have guns anymore. All the weapons, like I said, all the weapons are abolished, so they're not allowed to use weapons anymore. That's illegal. They even have illegal mics. Yeah, because guess what? Instead of using, so like if you're a police officer, or if you're like a gangster, like if you're a criminal or something, you're not running around using guns. Like they did show somebody with a knife in like the later part of the episode. But you're not running around with guns. Like there was one point where, like, I guess there was one point where one group is trying to basically stop a drug deal or whatever, and then like the bad guys, they're pulling out their so like you would think that they're reaching for the guns, they're gonna pull out the guns, and they're pulling out mics. It's weird. It's so silly. It's weird to see. But at the same time, like it works, man. It works. Like I can't explain this any better than I'm explaining it. Trust me, y'all need to watch this. If y'all haven't if y'all have been just like really down, even if you've been on this channel before and you've been like, man, this dude, I don't agree with all his opinions on different anime and stuff. Like, trust me, this might be something that a lot of people are gonna be able to get into, because I know I enjoyed this as a JoJo fan. Like even as a JoJo fan, I was like, man, this is out there. This is out there, and it's really cool. I mean, the idea that women would take over, and then find this way to, in the name of world peace, or at least in the name of, you know, cutting down on the violence and, you know, killing and death and all that, abolish the ability to use firearms, but instead give people an alternative. And then, like I said, they're setting up something to where there's going to be this big battle, because they said at the end of the episode that basically they're going to try to pit these characters, pit these groups against each other, because they know that there's animosity, because basically, from my understanding, the Party of Words, they basically staged a coup. Like, they took over the government. So there are people that are mad about this. There are people that are mad about being ruled by this particular party. So this is going to be interesting. Overall, man, I thought this was a great first episode. I really did, man. There wasn't really too much. I mean, honestly, there wasn't anything negative for me to really say about this. I mean, I loved the first episode. Let me know what you guys think about this show in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. This has been Fear No Hate. I'm out of here. Peace.